Okay, LOL. I started a live a little bit ago and then I I don't know. I got confused about I don't know. There was something that happened on my phone. And then so I went live and then I stopped and then I never deleted it. And so I looked like a crazy person who didn't know how to do a YouTube live. So here I am and I'm here to talk about the crazy hit piece that was written on me by Media Matters that actually unintentionally ended up being amazing PR for me and made me sound like a lot cooler than I am. So, if you don't know, Media Matters is this joke of an organization that pretends to hold the media accountable. Really, all they talk about is how conservatives are so terrible and so scary, and that everyone that they disagree with is a threat to society. And they will seek out these conservative commentators or hosts, writers, anyone in the media who is right of center, call them some kind of racist, white supremacist, bigot, or something like that. I think they've written some small pieces on me, but this was definitely the biggest piece that they wrote. So Justin Horowitz, who is the writer for Media Matters, never heard of him. He tweeted and tagged me, and he said, I watched hours of Allie Beth Stuckey's anti-LGBTQ Christian fundamentalist show on Blaze TV. I found that she hides her hatred and bigotry behind a glitzy, Instagrammable aesthetic while weaponizing her faith to attack queer people. I mean, so many buzzwords just in that tweet alone. And then you click on the article and you see what his gripe is. I mean, personally, I have some favorite quotes from the article. Just hilarious that he thinks that these things are bad when I am so outright about who I am and what I believe and where my worldview is coming from. So here's a quote from the article that's amazing. Quote, Stuckey said being a biological mother, which he puts in scare quotes, funny, is the best thing that she has done other than being a follower of Christ and a wife to my husband. These fundamentalist values, Justin Horowitz of Media Matters says, appear to inform every aspect of her life and guide her commentary. Honestly, that is like a huge compliment that someone who is so antagonistic watched my show and they did, and my speeches, by the way, they quote some speeches that I recently did, and they deduced that being a follower of Christ, being a wife and a mom, that those things inform everything that I say and do and the views that I have on culture and politics. Like, thank you so much, Media Matters. Yes, that is called having an integrated life. That is something that I strive toward as a Christian, and I'm so thankful that they pointed that out. And honestly, this made me think maybe in these hours and hours of Justin Horowitz watching my show, which he obviously hates, like, he definitely had to have heard the gospel because we talk about it almost every episode. So maybe God is using this to plant seeds in his heart and he will believe the truth that he hates so much. Something else that he said in the article was Stuckey's ability to camouflage her Christian fundamentalism. He loves that word, through a glittery aesthetic is dangerous to susceptible viewers. Building a young audience and indoctrinating them into a radical ideology is how you build the next generation of fascists. Everything is fascist, everything is fundamentalist, everything is Christian nationalist, everything is just like all the time, just like so much. And one issue that I do have with this though is that he says that I have a glittery aesthetic. He talks about my aesthetic so much in this article, my Instagrammable aesthetic, my glittery aesthetic. My aesthetic really isn't glittery. It's not glittery. It's actually very matte, if I do say so myself. Now, Instagrammable, sure, it's definitely feminine. It just reflects kind of my style, which happens to be the style of a lot of people my age, but he thinks it's, manipulative. And here's a great quote from him about me. This is Justin Horowitz of Media Matters, wrote a huge hit piece on me that came out today. Said, she bluntly says she doesn't care about being labeled a blatant homophobe. True. He quoted a tweet that I said that I was like, you don't need to care when people call you that. They're going to call you a white supremacist. They're going to call you a racist. They're going to call you a transphobe, homophobe, whatever it is. There's just no point in saying, no, I'm not. And here's why. Here are all the nice things that I've done. Here are all the nice things I've said. Or no, I just disagree. Or I just have this opinion. Or I just have, this one problem with this segment of that community, whatever it is. There's just no point. There's no point. You can say that you're just talking facts, that you're just looking at data, that you're just giving your opinion. It doesn't matter. If you have a heterodox or right of center or certainly a Christian view on these things, you're going to be called some kind of phobe or some kind of ist. And so rather than defending yourself because they do not care about your defenses, they don't care about what the truth is, you just say, I don't care. I don't care. Their words and their ad hominem attacks really have lost value. And so, of course, that's what I meant by that. I don't care if they call me this. And of course, he thinks that I should care because they really want their words and their attacks to carry a lot of weight. They want to be able to call you a homophobe or call you a transphobe or call you a racist and shut you down. So you'll be so scared to give your opinions that there won't be any deceit. Of course, that's what they want. These people are tyrants. They want everyone to believe what they believe, and they are not okay with anyone disagreeing. And when they do, they write these giant hit pieces on you because they're so angry. And so they wrote some other things. One thing that someone pointed out that I don't even remember reading, but they took a screenshot and said they're literally shaking. One thing the article says is, while discussing LGBTQ rights, Stuckey said that because she is a Christian conservative, she opposes the idea that men can become women and vice versa. True, I do oppose that idea because it is absolutely ludicrous. It's not just ludicrous, it's actually impossible. Yes, I believe what all people, regardless of their religious beliefs, knew to be true until like 2015. So yeah, I believe what everyone for all of human history has known until like a few gender scientists in the 1960s decided to shake things up to try to justify their own strange ideas and proclivities. Yes, I believe what is affirmed by science and logic and morality and also theology. It is true. You caught me. Michael Malice had a good comment. He posted that meme. I wish I could show it to you. I don't have the technological capabilities to do that on my own, but Michael Malice posted this meme. You've probably seen it. It's like a drawing of this guy, and then over here it has this. He said, you should be opposed to, this is like, he's quoting this journalist, you should be opposed to homophobia because the Bible was also used to defend slavery at one time. Oh yeah, that's a comment that this journalist said. No, I'm not a Christian, and I have nothing but contempt for your backward religious beliefs. So yeah, this argument wouldn't work on me, but maybe if I use it on you, you'll do what I want, which is exactly what this so-called journalist is doing. He said that just as Christians have used, Christianity was used to justify slavery, Stuckey uses her faith to justify bigotry and discrimination against the LGBTQ community. Do I even want to push back on that or explain why that is so stupid? So some people who profess to be Christians use the Bible to justify their position on slavery. Sure, yeah, that's true. But the Bible is very explicit in the first chapter of the Bible that God created us in his image, male and female. That is also his definition of marriage. That has always been true. It's been true for thousands and thousands of years. And so that is what it is. I'm going to keep on reflecting that and representing that view. Thankfully, I've gotten a lot of support on Twitter, as I thought that I would, both by people who agree with me and by a lot of people who disagree with me. People with a variety of sexual and gender and political and religious identities that have said, this article is obviously ridiculous. And this person, Justin Horowitz of Media Matters, knows that the article is ridiculous. It doesn't really matter. It's so filled with propaganda and buzzwords and decontextualized things that I've said that obviously he is writing towards a particular audience. He's not trying to convince people like you that I'm crazy. He is trying to, foment anger, fearmonger towards his target audience of people who believe almost exclusively conspiracy theories about how the world works. And so he's projecting, as all of these Media Matters writers do, they wallow in their own misery. They want everyone to be as purposeless and as lonely and as directionless and as godless as they are. They don't like that I am glad and happy and talk a lot about being a Christian, being a wife, being a mom, how these things are the highest and best parts of me and the highest and best and most fulfilling parts of my life. What they really don't like is not just how I live my life. They really hate my worldview. These people hate God. They hate people who believe in God. They hate people who have a higher moral authority, who know who we are and why we're here, what our purpose is. They really hate that. They're very antagonistic to that, these secular writers. and these progressive activists. But it's not just that. They don't just hate like what I believe. They hate you guys. Like they hate my audience. They hate the women and the men, but in particular, because he talked a lot about like how the Instagram aesthetic is like, you know, attracting susceptible women to my views. That's who they really hate. They hate the average working mom, not working mom, but, you know, average working person, mom, dad, who has just a very normal, traditional, fulfilled life and who has beliefs and political beliefs and cultural beliefs that match that. That's what they really hate. They hate you. So I'm happy to just be like a representative of the thing that these people think that they hate. Not only does, you know, my faith in the Lord and my marriage and the fulfillment that I have from my family give me a lot of confidence and a lot of joy, even in the face of this kind of ridiculous attack, but you guys do too. Like the support that I get from y'all and the fact that the support and the positivity and the wonderful feedback that I get y'all so far outweighs these kinds of just silly, baseless attacks really gives me a lot of confidence. We talk a lot about sharing arrows, raising a respectful ruckus for the things that matter and linking arms together to do that. And you guys do. Like you might not get a Media Matters piece written on you, but you guys are facing your own pushback and your own opposition, whether it's with your extended family or whether it's among your friends or in your community or at your workplace. And you guys have to stand firm too and continue to represent the things that the world really hates. And so you guys give me courage. Courage begets courage, and you guys give me courage, and I hope to give you courage too. But I really just kind of wanted to give a shout out to Media Matters for making me sound honestly like more awesome than I am. They make me sound like such a trailblazer and like I'm so far on the front lines ahead of everyone else when it comes to representing Christianity. And really, I'm just saying the things that Christians have said for thousands and thousands of years. So thank you so much, Media Matters. If you're watching this, you have done me a huge service today. You've gotten the word out about my show to people who maybe didn't hear about it before. You have allowed people who believe like I do to see someone, you know, stand up against an attack, and you've given them courage to be more outspoken. And you've also let them know that they are not alone, that it's okay to have unfashionable beliefs about God and marriage and sex and politics and culture, and to be really firm about that and to continue to articulate that. So I'm sorry that not everyone is as miserable and as lonely as the people at Media Matters, but that's okay. We'll just keep going and keep doing what we do. So thank you guys so much for your support and for watching me and for being here and for sending all of your encouragement and the sweet messages that you do. Also, I've got a really fun video that's coming out in a couple days, hopefully on Sunday, that you're going to love. So get excited for that. See you guys soon.